All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Prime Spine Consulting Personal Injury Accelerator live Q&A call. Today is Monday, November 2nd, our first Monday in November. And welcome to all those attending tonight's live Q&A. So a few ground rules real quick. If you're in the waiting area and you have a little red microphone with a line through it, that means that you have audio. And we can communicate right here in the webinar. So if you have a question, simply raise your hand. I'll be notified your hand is raised. I'll call on you, unmute you, your microphone will turn green, and we can have a discussion right here in the live Q&A. If you do not have a little red microphone with a line through it, that's okay. In the question tab in your control panel, you can simply send me your question, type it out, hit send. I'll be notified there's a question. I'll repeat the question. I'll give the answer, and you can continue to write follow-up questions. I'll repeat those and give the answer as well. So welcome to Monday's first live Q&A in November. And let's go ahead and get started. I don't have too many topics to cover tonight. I just have one. And what I want to talk about is feeding your focus, starve your distraction. Tomorrow is November 3rd. We are all going to be massively distracted by going to vote. If you haven't done that already, if you haven't voted early, and you have to go do that, well, go do that. You don't have to go do that. You should want to do it. It's your right to go vote. So we're going to be distracted tomorrow. We're going to be distracted tomorrow night. So what I want to tell you, just a little reminder, feed your focus, starve your distractions. There's going to be a lot going on. I mean, not just tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and maybe longer. So you know that you have important and necessary things to do in your business. You need to focus on your organic outreach and attraction. You have to focus on your marketing. There are going to be car accidents all next week, just like there are every other week. And you need to do what you focus on. So you're going to have more distractions, longer distractions tomorrow. I want to just give everyone a reminder to focus on the things that we need to focus on. Okay, so I want to share this video, which I think is really fantastic. It's a Tony Robbins video about the 3 tests of focus, according to Tony Robbins. Okay, and this is from back in 2018, so it's pre-COVID, not that it matters. So this is only a minute and a half. And again, the topic is feeding your focus, starving your distractions.
I tell people there's 3 tests of focus. If I asked you right now watching, do you tend to focus more on what you control or can't control? You know, it's interesting. Rooms are split when you ask that question, right? Mm-hmm. If you're always focused on what you can't control, you're going to be stressed. And the next same question is, do you focus on what you have or what's missing? The vast majority of people focus on what's missing. If you're always focused on what's missing and what you can't control, you're going to be angry or depressed or frustrated. We don't have to go any further. I can give you Prozac all day long, and you're still going to be, you might be numb, but you're still going to be angry and frustrated. You haven't dealt with the origin of the problem. Do you tend to focus more on the past, the present, or the future? We all do all 3. But if your focus is mostly on the past, which you can't change, and what you can't control, and what's missing in your life, I ask people in my rooms all the time, 10,000 people in the room, and I'll say, how many of you know somebody that is taking antidepressants and is still depressed? 95% of the room raises their hand. Most people know people that have 2 or 3 drugs and they're still depressed. That ought to tell us that the problem is not the external world. And the problem is not just biochemistry. The problem is the software that's running this process. And you can't change somebody else's software if you don't change your own. You can't help someone get the solutions, you can't change your own. So I'm able to help people in this area because I don't participate in the bullshit. I don't do. Do I like everything I see? Of course not. Do I have opinions of how life should be? Of course. Then there's how life is. And then it's like being pragmatic and saying, how do I, in this environment, continue to add value to people's lives? How do I make sure that I have a joyous life for myself and my family? How do I help those that are less fortunate than myself, regardless of what's happening in the external environment? I think that is a more empowering approach, at least for me.
Okay, I love that. What do you focus on? Do you focus on the past, the present, or the future? Where is your focus going? Can't change the past. You can change the future by what you do today. Okay, so where is your focus? Do you focus on the things you can't control? Do you focus on the debt that you have? Do you focus on the lack of patience that you have right now? Like, where focus goes, energy flows, and what you focus on, you feel. If you put some focus on your debt, that doesn't feel good. Okay, so what you focus on, you feel. Where is your focus? Where is your focus going to be over the next three or 4 days, or maybe even the next 2 weeks? There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on that you can't control. What you can control are the tenets and the habits and rituals that are taught in this course about marketing for personal injury. Make sure you don't lose your focus on those things, because that's committing self-sabotage on your business. Okay, your business needs your attention and your focus every day. And tomorrow is going to be a challenge, and this week is going to be a challenge. You're going to be massively distracted by the news, by other people, by social media. If you're still in the habit of checking social media for that high, for that scrolling high, like you're at a slot machine, you are feeding your distraction and starving your focus. You're looking for that chemical release of somebody's post, whether, I'm not going to bring up topics, but you're looking for ways to feel good from external sources by scrolling Facebook, scrolling Instagram, or or whatever. Reading news articles that make you feel good. None of that is going to help your business, and it's feeding your distraction and starving your focus. Okay. I understand I feel like a broken record, but this is going to be a tough week for people. Okay. My advice is pretend it's the first week of November of 2019. Okay. Do the work. Focus on what needs to be done. Focus on your staff. Focus on your patients. Focus on your marketing, and keep the focus on your business. Okay. All right. So I wanted to focus. How many times have I said focus in this meeting today? So I wanted to talk about that. I thought it was an excellent topic to bring up this week because of what is happening this week with the election on November 3rd tomorrow. So if you have some questions for me as it pertains to personal injury, your marketing, your organic outreach and attraction, now is the time to ask. Again, I didn't want to bring up too many topics right now. I know that it's just not a good time to bring up a whole lot of stuff because there's just a lot going on this week. Okay, so just wanted to put the idea out there that focus on the things you need to focus on and put those distractions aside as much as you can so that we can take care of the work that needs to be done to propel your business forward. Okay. So again, if you have some questions, let's go ahead and get those out. Either send me a question if you don't have a little red microphone with a line through it, or raise your hand. I'll unmute you. We can have a live discussion right here in the live Q&A. Okay. Okay. Question here. Let's see. All right, docs and liaisons, just a real short one tonight. It's going to be a weird week. We're going to be back here on Thursday. That's going to be November 5th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be over this hump. We'll have some clarity, and we'll be able to move on and press on and really focus on what we need to do to grow our practice. A few more questions here. Okay, so here's a question that I'd love to address. 1 second. All right, so the question is, any differences in marketing doctor's offices as opposed to attorney offices? I'm so glad you asked this question. This question is from Andrea. Andrea is a marketer. Andrea, so here's how I'm going to answer that. When you walk into these attorneys' offices, here's the thing. These attorneys get clients. Their clients are obviously injured if you're dealing with personal injury attorneys. If they have a viable case, it is their duty to send their client to get the medical care that they need. Okay, so attorneys, they have to send their clients to get medical care or chiropractic care, because without documentation of their injuries, without a bill, without a narrative or a report, there is no case. Okay, so when you walk in and you're marketing to attorneys, they know that they don't need to do business with you, but they need to do business with attorneys and doctors, and they may choose to do business with you if you ask the right questions and you're qualified and you follow up and you build that relationship. Okay, now, when we're marketing to doctor's offices, keep in mind, not only can you get their personal injury patients, because most primary care doctors, general practitioners, they don't deal with medical legal cases. Not only that, Andrea, they hate dealing with the neck and the back. They don't like dealing with the spine. They know how to prescribe medication, so they treat a physical ailment with a chemical answer. Whereas chiropractors, orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, they treat physical injuries with physical medicine. Okay, that's what we specialize in. So again, not only do doctors not want personal injury cases, you can also get their benign neck and back patients. So here's the approach. When you walk into a doctor's office, and we're talking a general practitioner or a primary care doc, the typical doctor that you go to when you have, when you're sick, you have a fever, when you just don't feel right, you go to the doctor. So if you're marketing to doctors like that, you can't go in there with your hand out and only ask for business. So here's what you do. You walk in there and say, hey, are you open-minded to hearing about a doctor who specializes in treating people that have been in car accidents? We're located over here in Vinings, Atlanta. However, I wanted to come and introduce myself to you because Dr. So-and-so, Dr. Slater, gets a lot of patients. He's been practicing for 20 years. He gets a lot of patients. They have fevers. They get complications from their diabetes, complications from maybe their medications. They get organic diseases. And we don't really focus on that. We don't treat that. So these patients are always asking us where the good doctors that we recommend to send our patients to. So Andrew, what we're trying to do is set up a two-way street. Don't go in there with your hand out. Add that little extra after your introduction. That we have a lot of patients that ask us about, do we treat fevers, problems from diabetes, organic diseases, things out of the scope of practice for chiropractors in your case. So the idea here is start a relationship to say, hey, if we get some patients that live or work near your area, we would love to recommend you. And if you have patients that you can't help, your neck and back patients, your medical legal cases, your personal injury cases, we would love to be a resource for you because we specialize in that area. Okay? Andrea, do you have a follow-up question for me in terms of how to market to doctors' offices? But that is essentially the difference. Set up a two-way street with doctors as opposed to just going into an attorney and say, let them know that you specialize in taking these cases. And if they say, well, you send us one, we'll send you one. They go, hey, Mr. Attorney, I get that. We'd love to reciprocate. But as it stands right now, I don't know about your practice. Here's the thing. We send our patients to attorneys that we have a relationship that we know and trust. So if you have a client that lives or works in our area and you want to get the relationship started, we would love to take care of your client, see how we work, start developing this relationship, see how you deal with billing and protecting my bill, right? You don't want to blindly send one of your personal injury patients to a brand new attorney who may cut your fee you just don't know how they work. Also, these attorneys have a lot more marketing dollars than the chiropractors and the doctors for the most part. So they dominate the marketing and personal injury. Bring that up in conversation. Just tell them, hey man, you get a $100,000 case. Hopefully you're going to pay my $5,000 chiropractic bill, but now you have 33% of that money to go market for personal injury cases, right? So we'd love to be a resource for you, and I'd love to build a relationship. But when we start getting some cases from you, we'll start reciprocating once I know that you are going to treat me fairly, right? I don't mind taking a haircut. I don't mind taking some off of my bill as long as I know that all doctors involved are taking a haircut on their bill. And are you taking a reduction in your fee as well? Okay. Okay, Andrea. So yeah, you need to ask that question. Set up that two-way street. Let them know that you're in the doctor business, right? You have patients, and those patients are looking for doctors, and this is how you're going to get referrals from doctors' offices because you set up a two-way street. So that's the difference of your approach when dealing with attorney firms and dealing with doctors' offices. Okay. All right. A few more people just entered here on today's live Q&A. If you do have a question, go ahead and click your little red microphone. It'll turn green. I'll unmute you. We can have a conversation here. If you don't have that red microphone, simply type your question in the question panel of the control panel. I'll be alerted that there's a question, and I'll repeat the question, give the answer, and you can type follow-up questions. So I see that there's someone down here from Tampa that just joined us. I will be flying to Tampa later this week for family business. So welcome if you're just joining. I wanted to just stress, we talked about earlier in today's live webinar, we played a quick video about starving your distractions and feeding your focus. It's really easy to be distracted right now, and distracted for a long period of time, not just tomorrow, but maybe distracted for the whole week. We need to make sure we focus on the work that we need to do, our marketing, in order to grow our business. Okay? So feed your focus this week. Starve some of those distractions. No need to get on fights in social media about politics or anything else. It's a big fat waste of time. And when you do that and you're an entrepreneur, you're actually committing self-sabotage of your business. You're committing treason on your business if you're scrolling through social media. If you're scrolling through Facebook like this. This is what most entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, don't do. They're not on their phone doing this all day, looking for arguments to get into with strangers or friends or ex-friends or soon-to-be ex-friends, you know, whatever. This is not how you're going to grow your business. Okay? What? Okay. All right. There's my buddy Ali. All right. So we're going to wrap up today's live Q&A. We'll be back here on Thursday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. That's going to be Thursday, was it November 6th? 1:30 p.m. Eastern right here. Register in the Facebook group. Not a big turnout today. I think I know why, because tomorrow is November 3rd, and that's where everyone's focus is on right now. I just want to remind you again for the 10th time to focus on the things that matter in your business, and then you can be distracted once you take care of what's important in your business, okay? Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining me in tonight's live Q&A, and we're going to see you this Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, have a great week, everyone.